Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move! James with no regard for human life. Final seconds. Bryant for the win.
Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up? What up? Welcome back to the Sneaker History Podcast. My name is Nick Engvall, and I'm with my guys Mike and Robbie to talk some kicks. How you doing, fellas?
It's good, man. Happy Monday to you, fellas.
I'm doing great. I realized the past 4 or 5 days I've worn the same 2 models in different colors, but it's like alternated. So it's been a repeating shoe point in my life, but it's good. I'm good. It's good.
Life's good.
All right. I'm okay. I'm good.
It's been kind of sunny up in Portland, right?
It has been. It was nice. But I'm gonna go running tomorrow night with the Deadstock people. They're trying to. I got a scale at the house, and I got on it, and I was like, nah, damn it. So I was like, I'm gonna go running.
You said nah.
Yeah, bad news bears. So I'm gonna go with Nixon running. So I was like, if all these people can run, I can run too.
You want to join my March challenge, man? 2 miles a day for 5 days a week, every week of March.
Oh, I already got you beat. I walk a mile, and I walk 1.3.
No, running.
Who's chasing me?
Well, I don't know. There's a shoe in front of you.
Wait, what is it again, Mike?
So my buddy, we always send each other random workout challenges for the month, and the one we're doing now is for 5 days out of the week, you run 2 miles a day for those 5 days. You do it for the entire month of March.
All right, I'm in.
All right.
I gotta get back on it because I was running pretty regularly, but then we got this puppy and she can't quite keep up like that yet. So my and also my time is dedicated to scoop and poop. So
gotta scoop the poop.
Yeah, man. It's worth it in the long run. That's what I just got to tell myself.
Don't worry, I'm a trash runner, so I'm like breathing like I literally have some kind of asthma when I run. I'm like, all right, we gotta get back into this.
Yeah, man. I've always had like a kind of like, I forget what the technical term is from it because I hate to even think about it, but I've had this like kind of asthma where when I run or when I play basketball or exercise pretty heavily, I get super congested. And like it just runs in the family. My brother has it. My mom has it. It's annoying as hell. But I've been trying to run and keep my pace below that, kind of threshold of what triggers it.
Yeah.
So it's a constant work in progress.
Hey, you keep working on it. It's all that matters.
Yeah.
You're still in the streets, so it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we get into today's episode, which we're going to talk about some signature basketball shoes since the NBA is coming into full steam ahead, I think, like into the season or last third of the season, I should say. And also, if you haven't listened to the previous episode, Rohit and Robbie had a great conversation about the rising stars in basketball, which I'm sure we'll touch on a few of them in tonight's episode. But before that, I wanted to do as we usually do, read out a review. This one came from Coat Wolf. He says, I love this show. Best sneaker podcast out there. Great guys, great personalities, great discussions and topics. I'm always looking forward to the next episode. Can't ask for much more than that besides more episodes. Keep up the excellent work. So shout out to Coat Wolf for the positive review. If you've got a minute, head over to iTunes, leave us a review. I know that most of you probably listen on other platforms, but unfortunately, iTunes is really the only place that helps us out with these reviews. So if you are really about that life, head over to patreon.com/sneakerhistory, and you can join us there. We drop a couple, 2-3 episodes, extra podcasts a month and a bunch of content throughout the month. Get a little more engagement, a little more interaction with all of us on there. But yeah, appreciate everybody listening. It's crazy that, we've had so many reviews and so many people listening. And I'm just so thankful that we're able to do this. And just to be able to talk sneakers with you guys is a blast. So
yeah, you guys sign up for the Patreon. Robbie will send you a signed picture from his cat.
Yeah.
I will dip her paw in ink, and then I will.
So Coppin and Rockin and Coppin. What do you guys rocking? What do you guys copping this week?
Man, I broke out the Jordan What the 4s again. And I've been wearing those for the last couple of days. Coppin, I'm in just kind of a walking conundrum right now. I don't know what I want. I mean, I know what I want, but I'm trying to make a smart financial decision on what to buy. But I for sure want to get my kid a pair of the Ray Gun 2.0s because for his size they're like $100. So that's definitely on my list of things to buy.
Nice. How about you, Robbie?
Like I said, I've been going back and forth between the blue, the pink, and the Volt Air Max 90s. And then randomly I pulled out the All-Star Jordan 1, like the Chameleon pair from like 2018. And then I wore my top 3 ones. And then I wore the blue, the greats. So it's like I've been going back and forth between those 2 shoes.
Nice.
When it comes to Coppin, I really want the Syracuse Dunk. Like I'll take the Kentucky one, but I have a lot of blue. I'm always looking for more quality orange shoes that don't say like Oregon State on them or give off an Oregon State vibe. So Syracuse is definitely fitting that bill.
Man, I hope those are, I don't want to say easy to get because I know they're not going to be, but I hope I have at least a chance. I really don't care. Either one, just like you said, I would prefer the Syracuse. Kind of like the orange a little bit better. But at this point, it's like, I just take one.
So I wore what did I wear today? Oh, I wore LeBron 7, the no fly wire, the white and reds.
Nice.
Yeah, I hadn't worn that shoe in a long time. I hadn't worn any of my LeBron 7s in a long time. And I keep seeing everybody posting that retros, and I'm like, man, I need to like pull these out. So either one, I'm not tempted to buy more retros, or 2, it's going to make me buy more retros. And That shoe is just so good, man. Like the details, the quality of it, the comfort. I mean, I don't know that the style, we talked about the patent leather, and like the pair that I wore today is obviously not patent leather, but it's so clean. It's so simple. It's just like, it just makes me appreciate that shoe again, pulling it out and wearing it. So that was what's on my feet. As far as copping, like I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys with these Dunks, but I really just want the Safaris. Like I never got the Safari Air Max ones. I never, I've actually never had any Safari release except for the Air Safari. Like whenever it was retroed last, I have a couple of pairs of those in storage, but the Dunks, man, they're just so dope.
Do you know the release info on that? I didn't know if it was going to be skate shop only. I didn't see them on sneakers, but then again, I haven't looked in like 3 days. So
I haven't seen anything on them. No.
Man. Yeah, because I would take those over either of the other two Dunks because I love that Safari. Like just like you, I haven't owned any Safari sneakers, and I'm just so tempted to go buy the Atmos LeBron 16s because they're just kind of sitting around and they're below $200.
Man, but the white and blue or white and orange goes with everything.
I know. Just something that Safari print just calls me sometimes.
So I have plenty of orange shoes. So I'm not against the Syracuse Dunks, but I have I forget what the Dunks were that came out probably 05, 06 that are they're highs, but they're just white and orange. And then they had a tiny bit of blue on the tongue, but I have those that I wear quite a bit. And other than, I just wouldn't wear the lows if I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't wear them if I already have a pair that's basically the same colorway. So I know this is weird coming from me
because I'm pretty sure you've broken that, as I know I've broken it a million times in my life.
Wait, what's that?
That similar colorways. You don't have two shoes in the closet that are very similar that aren't the same.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, I have plenty of them though. You got to realize your purple and gold for the Lakers is black and orange for me and the Giants, right? I would say that I have more orange on my shoes than probably anything except for red, just because every Jordan comes in red, right? So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Let us know what you're rocking lately, what you're copping. We'll throw this up on Instagram too, so if you can drop a comment on there and let us know. Love to see what everybody's after lately. I see everybody talk about the same stuff on Twitter, and I don't think that everybody actually wants to buy the things that are. I think Twitter is as much as I love it, it's mostly just people that are probably just going to flip the shoes, or people that are just complaining that they didn't get the shoes. But I don't know, maybe not. If you're on Twitter, actually just tweet at us. I would love to talk to people on Twitter about this stuff, because I feel like there's a lot of negativity on Twitter when it comes to sneakers. And personally, I don't think it's all that bad, but I digress. So where do you guys want to start? Want to do a little bit of news first?
Yeah, let's start with the news and work our way through it all.
How about this? I guess the biggest one is going to be Draymond signing with Converse, and that's really great. I can see that brand diversify more in the signature line for him. But the real standout shoe dropping is the Jordan Mars 270 Low in Pure Money White.
Robbie's favorite.
There's been a Pure Money 4. There's been a Pure Money 3. But this Mars 270 Low is bar none the best Pure Money Air Jordan I've ever seen.
If you all didn't know, this is pure sarcasm, just in case you didn't know. Look, man, they had to make Spike Lee happy with something. He just had a falling out with the Knicks. They're like, look, man, we'll give you a 270 Mars Low in a white colorway. Here, go be happy.
But it's pure money, though. Like, they use the same colorway as the signature shoe. It's like compilation prizes, right? And like that.
Yeah, but that's like every Six Rings that releases. If you missed out on cool grade 11s, they got those. Space Jams, we got you. Everything.
Anything and everything. Just use the same name. And people
so the interesting thing about that shoe to me is that it doesn't look like a basketball shoe, the low. It looks like a cross between the Air Monarch and like a new Nike tennis shoe, right?
Yeah.
Monarchs are very good. I see it now from the overlays and the shape. Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Honestly, like if I came across this shoe in the mall and didn't know what it was, if it didn't have that mesh panel overlay, I think it's actually a pretty good looking shoe. But it's like the mesh over the swoosh that makes me, and obviously that trying to tie it to the Jordan 4 just makes me think, oh no, this isn't for me because they're just trying too hard, right? But the rest of it, I think actually looks pretty good. Like that like kind of ice blue outsole, the Jordan logo on the under the air bubble in the back looks dope to me. I don't know. I'm not as totally against it as I. Nah, I'm against it. Never mind.
He's trying to like, no, it's not it.
I wouldn't own any Monarchs either.
He's making good points. He's making a case. It's like we did not murder him. He was here, not.
I mean, no point in talking myself into a shoe like this, right? Like, it's just, this shoe isn't designed for me. It's designed for people that typically aren't paying attention to sneakers, and they just want to be able to buy a nice, clean pair of shoes for, probably on sale for $70 or something. So,
yeah, I mean, that's the perfect way to put it. It's not meant for us, even though we find ourselves talking about it. It's just not.
So okay. I just had like an ultimate, like WTF moment. So when I put in the like pure money or whatever, obviously the 4s come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's an ad, like one of the top, shopping ads is from GOAT. The asking price on a size 8 pure money 4 is $1,650.
$16.50?
No, $1,650. And the asking price on an 8.5 is $2,000. The 9 is $460. The 9.5 is $560. I mean, I had no idea those shoes actually were worth anything more than retail. I thought they were on sale.
I thought they were too.
No, they did. Like, not thought, they did.
Huh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Funny how things change.
Yep. But anyway, I guess other newsworthy stuff is this Air Max Adapt Leo 1. Looks like I don't even know what to say what it looks like. Just looks like
a walking sneaker, like for a person with like bad arch support. Like,
yeah, it's like one of those like Etonics that your grandparents would rock, right?
100%.
It's like 4 midsoles thick,
and not like Balenciaga, Triple S. These are just like might be taller actually.
It kind of looks like it should just be a motorized like outsole that you just stand and it just scoots along. Looks like a tank, sort of.
Heelys, but electronic.
Yeah. Electronic Heelys.
Hey, that's our new idea, by the way. We're taking that one and running with it.
It reminds me of the Air Max 200 with lights.
Yeah, there you go. And like it ate an extra meal, like.
Yeah, it's chonky, but like the feel. I wonder what like the the design reasoning was for that gap in the back of it.
I have to just wait for the actual. Once the press release comes out, I like to actually read about it and see what the thought process was behind it. Because again, we get these first look sneak peeks, we have no context to the design, and so we're just left like this, like what was happening in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think the back heel piece with the that space that's there could actually be cool if it wasn't so bulky, right? It's just so thick.
You sounded upset when you did it. It's just so thick.
I mean, I want to like it because it's probably an infrared. It looks infrared, right? I thought it was orange, infrared colorway. But
you talking about Lizzo or the shoe?
What?
Are we talking about Lizzo or the shoe?
Talk about the shoe, man.
I know, it's a joke.
The thing that gets me on this one, the lacing system, it doesn't. I guess when I first adapt sneaker, it looked like it was just elastic looking strapped across the top, but it didn't have that same system. You know how it looked of the cables on the latest Adapt BB, or even the Hirachis. This one uses little bands across the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to know what this is going to turn out. I mean, I want to see it in person at some point, hopefully.
So I'm happy you brought up the Hirachi because I think that's the best looking Adapt of any Adapt, including the mags, from a practical everyday wear standpoint. And they did 2 colorways and then bye-bye. I haven't heard one thing about it since. I would have liked to seen more with that silhouette before getting this guy. And we don't know when this is dropping. It's a first look. But I would like to see more of the last guy before getting this new one.
I'm going to assume it's going to drop Air Max Day or somewhere in that general vicinity just because it is an Air Max sneaker. But I think the Adapt BB 2.0 is actually the best looking one. I like the Hirachi, but that Adapt BB, I don't know. The second one looks really sleek and it's really, really cool. It looks really wearable, or it was really wearable, I should say.
Looks like a RoboCop reboot, but in shoe form.
Hey.
It's cool. I mean, from a basketball standpoint, basketball shoes can always get away with looking more techy, right? But they want to off what the shoe is doing for your game or what it does for you. So it looks like RoboCop, but that fits in that category. Shoes are getting more futuristic on the streetwear casual side, but I think this is a real big feeler. They're going to throw this out there and see, do people latch on to it or is it too far gone?
Yeah, well, this will be interesting to see how people react to it. But last bit of news, finally know how the Dior Air Jordan 1 Dior is going to release, and you're not getting a pair. So that's all that you need to know. Nobody's getting a pair. They've all been backdoored. And no, I'm just kidding. It's basically a giant lottery, it looks like, right? Mike, you sent this one, so I'll let you talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's a giant lot. Well, let's take that back. Let's take a whole step back. It's not a giant lottery. It's a moderately large lottery. Because looks like March 23rd through April 6th in Paris alone, you can enter the lottery and you'll be able to, if you win, pick them up at a pop-up shop that they're going to have. Now, for all of us lucky people in the States, if you don't live in New York or Los Angeles, you're going to be paying $10,000 plus for them because that's the only way you're going to be able to get them. Is the same process as the Paris release, but they're going to do, again, a pop-up shop. You have to go pick them up from either New York or Paris on April 23rd. Now, you're going to see releases in London, Hong Kong, Seoul, Singapore, Tokyo, and China. But at this point, I think you guys can agree with me with everything going on. I don't see that really happening right now because it looks like a lot of things were postponed until April. A lot of just businesses have pretty much just called it quits until April. But at this point, I think I've heard rumblings of things maybe being pushed over to May. So There's no set date on those Asia-centric releases or that London release. So they're just basically saying stay tuned, and they're going to play by ear. But there are only 8,500 pairs, and we're dividing it over, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 countries. And you've already seen, 20, 30 of your favorite celebrities with them, which means there's more of them out there. So we're going to be realistic and say that there's maybe 4,000 to 5,000 pairs to go around to the general population. And at $2,000, by the way. So this is just for the high, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see anything saying the high and low are releasing at the same time. So from my understanding, this could be wrong, but I think it's just the Jordan 1 high, and the low is going to follow at some point, if it even does release. So good luck. I would act like this shoe didn't exist. There's no point of trying to bang your head against the wall for a $2,000 sneaker that's pretty much going to be as elusive as like something like the Undefeated 4. If you get it, cool. You should be able to pay your mortgage for the next year without blinking an eye once you sell it. So good to you if you're that person.
My first thought about it was, well, I have enough to buy it. Like I would do it if it came up, but it's just not going to happen. It's like those gamblers who think that they're down to the last $5 and they've already lost a couple thousand, and maybe the mortgage is on the line. Like, I'm going to make this $5. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to go on a winning streak from here on. Like, no, you are playing yourself. It's not going to go down like that. If you think you're going to get a pair of these and you aren't in one of those cities, you have a fat chance of taking a big L. But is it crazy? So for a shoe is going to be worth that much, is it worth going to one of those cities and trying to get it because the outcome could be so profitable?
Well, you wouldn't travel ahead of time. You would see if you won. You have to see if you won. From my understanding, you put your name in the lottery. If you won, you can go get it from that location, the way it reads.
Oh, I mean, I would take a round trip, stay with Nick for a night, go take a round trip to LA if I won. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, we're pretty impartial to reselling thing. We complain about it sometimes when it doesn't go our way. But if I had a chance to buy it knowing what the financial reward would be, 100% Nick, clear off your couch. I'll pick up your dog's poop for a couple days. I'm coming to get him.
I mean, so this is I'll link to this, but it looks like May 1st to the 8th is the LA Melrose Avenue pop-up. So I'm assuming it's hard to know if you can actually enter then, or if you can only do the entry on the 23rd and 24th of March.
Yeah.
But,
it's not clear, but I think it's on purpose to make it even harder. We're going to give you some very vague instructions, and good luck.
Right. And the crazy part is, like, Robbie, you make a great point, especially with coronavirus. Like, the price of flights is so cheap right now. You can literally fly anywhere for dirt cheap. Like, I just saw somebody posted that they got round trip tickets to Miami from San Francisco for $170 something. Like, that's normally like a $500 round trip. So you could literally fly to LA or New York and try to get it and still probably sell the shoe for, I don't know. I saw there's a bid on StockX for 12,000.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, how valid that is. There's nothing on GOAT as far as bids, but it seems like that shoe will go for 10 to 15 in my opinion. So, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to think that you could actually like make that work, but yeah, flights are nothing. If you were able to get the shoe, I mean, it'd totally be worth it if you were going to resell it. So
would you resell it? I know I would. I probably sound like a jerk for saying it, but I would sell it as soon as I knew I got the receipt in my hand. It'd be gone.
Yeah, I couldn't see myself keeping them with that much money on the line.
Yeah.
If I had, if anything, I would probably let's say I buy them for 2, I sell them for 10. I might buy like something that's in the like, you know, 1,500, 2,000 range, and then I still got money in off of it. So
easy to justify that. Yeah.
I'm buying a pair of Blink Yeezy 2s, no, Solar Yeezy 2s, and still have the money left over.
I was gonna buy Union 1s and just call it a day.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Union 1s, maybe, I don't know. I'm not even gonna think about it because I don't know.
We're spending money we don't have. What are we doing?
We can buy both of them and still have them.
So, all right, let's hop into this whole best signature basketball sneakers in the NBA right now. Robbie, this is I want to say you're a step or two deeper into this world than Mike and I. So why don't you take us into this one?
Well, I wanted it just to be 3 so I could really just talk about how good LeBron James is for a solid. But you two talked it into existence of doing all of the shoes. So what it comes down to is active players and their most recent signature shoe of this season. So, for example, LeBron James likes to wear the LeBron 7 retro, and even occasionally the Soldier 14. I think it's on a full Soldier 14 now. But his newest model is the LeBron 17. So we're going off of that. Same kind of thing goes for Kobe. A lot of people wear those shoes, but he's not in the league. Same could be said for Michael Jordan's line. So let's just start off with the King. Beat Kawhi Leonard's Clippers and Giannis Antetokounmpo's Milwaukee Bucks. All while wearing the LeBron 7, but like I said, this year is the 17. So giving a report card for that shoe, I want to give it like a B minus, not because I dislike it, but because the proof is in the pudding. LeBron James doesn't wear it all that much anymore. So if he's going towards the 10-year-old model over the brand new guy, I think that says something to how he likes it, and it wouldn't be the first time he has opted out of his recent signature shoe for a Soldier or another model. So all in all, the OG 17 B minus, not doing all that hot, but the 17 low, I see a lot of players wearing it. I see LeBron wearing it, and I think that one is a more accurate representation of what they would want from the line. That's a really long ass statement. Yeah. It's good, but not that good. There.
I mean, I think that kind of hits it right on the head because that is 100% right. Like the LeBron 17 is cool, but it doesn't have that same factor. I mean, clearly he likes LeBron 7 more than the 17. I mean, if he goes ahead and wins a championship, there's a championship color. I may go back and give it an A, but right now, yeah, I mean, serviceable shoe, not bad looking whatsoever. If we're giving a grade based on what he's doing on the court, yeah, I say A minus, B plus, just because he's still proven that he's a MVP caliber player at age 35.
I mean, I'm with you. I think Robbie covered most everything. I think the colorways on the 17 have been pretty solid, and the stories behind them, you know, like doing the infrareds, doing the kind of multicolor, the all reds, more than an athlete. Like there's been a lot of colors that I actually liked on the shoe, but it's almost just like overshadowed by all of the LeBron 7s. So it's hard to kind of think without those blurring my my vision, so to speak.
Yeah.
But the 17 low is dope. Like I've seen him wear the GR black and red one more than a couple times now. And I think it looks cool.
I like it too, yeah.
Yeah. I actually like the Space Jam one, the Toon Squad with the gray furry swoosh on it. What was it you said? I mean, I think I just like it. The 17 has been pretty good about telling stories, and I think that was a pretty cool one since he's doing a movie and whatnot. So, I give him a pass on that one.
I think I say just for the same reason that I didn't like the SpongeBob pack. It's just I'm not that target anymore. So like the Bugs Bunny furry swoosh on the 17 low is for a certain kind of person, and that is just not me anymore.
That's fair. What's next?
Yeah, let's just go into Giannis, the Greek Freak one, Zoom Freak one. That shoe has been a really big, popular shoe across all levels. It's not the most teched out, but it's not trying to be. It's trying to be affordable hoop shoe. My favorite part about it is that you see like the Lopez brothers wearing it. Chris Middleton wears it sometimes. Like his Bucks brethren rock it with him, and that's like one of my favorite things in basketball. But I mean, do we want to put like a grade on it, or would I say like I like it? It's on the upper end of the spectrum when it comes to this year's signature shoes.
I think it was a good entry point. I think he has a very good base and has a lot to look forward to in his line. Me personally, I've been having a really hard time breaking down the buy one just because, like you did mention, it's like really minimal in the tech, but I've heard good things about it. I haven't heard anything spectacular, but I haven't heard anything bad about it. So I really do want to try it out. And he has some pretty cool colors like that Roots color way where it's basically like almost like a mismatched shoes. Very, very Bryant. He had the launch colorway with the all rose. That orange colorway was a really good one. The Coming to America, I like the first one, but I feel like there's been a couple of them now. I don't want them to overuse that theme, but I mean, clearly he's, again, another MVP candidate doing amazing things in his sneaker. So I have to give him I don't know exact grade, but I have to give him that same level of, A- B+.
So I guess I didn't give the LeBron 17 a grade. I would probably go with like a B+ on LeBron. I think that. So I have the All Brothers Freak one. I think it's probably up there too. It's probably a B+, maybe even an A-. I think the colorways. The fact that it's so that the stories have been so good, and like Robbie said, seeing the other guys wear and support is also one of my favorite things. When like I think back to like when KD had the creamsicles and everybody in Oklahoma on OKC wore them for that game.
Yeah.
That stuff is like awesome to me. So I think that the downside to the Zoom Freak one is that not enough people are willing to pull the trigger on it because it's such an inexpensive shoe. I don't think anybody would be disappointed by the shoe because it's pretty comfortable, but because people, like when you think of signature shoes, I think people expect to pay a little bit more. And I almost think that having it go on sale, like you can pick up colorways on Nike.com right now for like $105. And that to me, I think, it doesn't make any sense, but it's just the way the sneaker world works, where like that's part of, part of the challenge, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that part's crazy. I don't mind picking up a shoe that is cheap because I've actually gone to Foot Locker and they have different pairs of the Freak one for like $69, and I think if I can find the right colorway and then I'm not looking for anything else, like because mostly it's more like trying to conserve, dollars for that. Do I really want to buy this, or is it just going to eat into my fund of something else I actually really do want to have? But I think overall it's a nice looking shoe. I just want to make sure like when I buy it, I'm not just buying it and just going to sit in my closet. Because that happens too. I think everyone has a story of buying, ooh, it's cheap. I bought it and now it's just sitting here.
So
yeah, I was just going to say, just to correct myself, so like Nike has like that power up 30% off thing going on. So you can actually get Zoom Freak ones for $75 right now on Nike.com, which are 67 plus tax or whatever.
Dang.
But yeah, it's pretty good price. But go ahead, Robbie. Sorry.
no, I tell Mike all the time, don't buy those shoes and save the money and get something else later. The Greek Freak is exactly what falls into that category for me. I'm like, oh, I like it for $70. I've seen them super cheap in person for like, $65, 60, it's whatever, very little money. But it's like I'd rather have that $70 and put it towards $200 and buy something $270. Just like it just falls off the radar.
I would say Robbie's like the little angel on my shoulder, but I really think it's the opposite.
So what's next?
Yeah, let's keep it Nike. Kyrie 6. Kyrie is out for the season. I've actually never really seen – I don't think of him when I think of this shoe. I don't know who I think of on the court. I know it's a very popular shoe in terms of like, the colorways and that big old, 18 shoe pack or whatnot, whatever big old world they did. So like there's been great colorways. The design's cool. It looks like the Yeezy 2. But I think without Kyrie in it doing things, it kind of becomes less and less important. And that's with any signature athlete. If you're not seeing Kobe play in the Kobe 9, it doesn't mean as much to you as like the Kobe 7, just because, he probably played 5-10 games in that 9 and then sat out. So it's like, it's harder to fall in love with it without the athlete involved. I would give it, an A though, just because taking the Kyrie part out of it, it's still a really good shoe.
Yeah. I have pretty much the same sentiment as you there, Robbie. It's tough to be really like, oh, cool, I could put a moment with this shoe because the player was in it. And I mean, he's just not. He's injured, and he played a handful of games this year. But the shoe itself is really cool looking. Everyone likes the inspiration for the Yeezys. I feel like that was kind of the way to get everybody into it. I haven't bought one yet. Again, same deal with the with the Freak ones. It's just like, oh, these are cool. I keep seeing them falling in prices. I've seen even a concepts pair they did. I don't know the name of it, but there's that pink base or salmon colored base.
Capri
What's it called?
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the Egypt based one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like at retail and lower on some websites. So, I mean, it might be an eventual pickup, but I'm not in super rush for it because I haven't had a reason to like really want to go buy it yet. So I give it I give it a B because I feel like a lot of the hype was because it looked like the Yeezy and people doing the Yeezy IDs. Still a nice looking shoe, but I give it a B because Kyrie hasn't done anything to make me just go ooh as in a performance wise with the shoe.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this is one of those shoes that I think people will sleep on now, and I think that down the road it'll actually be like it'll be like the KD4, where all those colorways end up being like crazy popular. Even further on down the road, obviously Kyrie not playing in them is tough right now. But there's so many good stories on this particular shoe. There's so many good colorways. They've done like really unique colorways. Not, I think like if you look at like the Freak one, right? The colorways, aside from the two like Coming to America colorways, I I feel like the colorways are pretty simple, right? Like they're not taking any risks. You can't really do that on a shoe that's $100 anyway, because like your price point determines your customer at that point. Mm-hmm. And with the Kyrie, like the concept is a good example. The preheat stuff, the Chinese New Year, all of them are very like bold. And I think that will prove to be like kind of more valuable down the road, because the shoe does look like the Yeezy 2. It looks good, I think. I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of the Yeezy 2, but out of the Nike Yeezys, it was definitely, the one that I saw as more wearable. But I think even like, with the exception of like, I'm not into the SpongeBob ones, but that's just not for me. And the All-Star one, I was a little disappointed that they didn't have a better story tie-in, because it was like, why is this colorway? It doesn't make sense. But overall, I think like the Kyrie 6 is, I would give it like an A, maybe even an A, like A+. It's capturing both like the like off-court kind of inspiration and style, but it's also like, I'm assuming probably a pretty good performance shoe. So it's up there for me, probably one of my favorites this year.
Right. I mean, I'm not mad at that. It is a good looking shoe.
So next up here, I would say a less attractive shoe than the KD 6. The Kyrie 6, and that is the KD 12. Obviously, no KD this season, so same reasons. The Kyrie 6 really wasn't hitting for me as hard as the injuries. The 12 has had like the longest life cycle ever, right? I think the KD line as a whole resets every summer. That's when they kind of try to drop, or like, spring finals time, that kind of, June. They try to drop KDs then, but this has had the craziest life cycle. They've had so many colorways, and all of them are forgettable except for the Dawn C and then the YouTube one, which I did not like at all. I just know it was a YouTube shoe and thought it was weird that there was YouTube branding on it. But it made me remember it, so that's cool. But this is like a C. I know performance-wise, it's supposed to be a great model, but I think it's one of the more forgettable KDs in the past couple years.
Yeah, the thing that got me with this one is has not been the colorways. I mean, I think the best one to come out was the Peach Jam colorway. That was my favorite of the group. But I like the Zoom Air Shovel Board that they put in there. That's been the only thing that has even remotely made me want to buy it. I tried a pair on. I didn't like the fit, as in how they felt really slim. I don't have a wide foot by any means, and for me to think a shoe is like tight is weird. So I didn't pull a trigger on them, and they were on sale for like $60-$70 at a Foot Locker. And yeah, I mean, I give them what they are. It looks like for a lot of hoopers do like them because, again, that Strobel board makes it a little bit more comfortable. I give it a B+ just because of innovation.
It's probably just a solid B for me. Nothing spectacular. I have a pair, but more often than not, I'm not going to choose to wear them. I think they're comfortable. I don't really like the tongue on them. It's just it just sits weird for me, and I don't know if that's just me, but in general, I don't think that there's been enough there. It's tough with KD not playing, to me, like, I don't know, just it could be better. And that's about it.
Let's start going like spitfiring here. Hot take.
Right.
So, all
right,
George 4, the colorways have not been hidden, but I love the Gary Payton vibes. I love the design. Just yet to be a color for me.
PG4, I actually don't like it whatsoever. I've been trying to make myself like it. I think if we're going to go with the shroud, go full shroud. Don't cop out by putting the laces out the top. I don't like the fact that everything's been Gatorade related. Let's get some better stories about PG. And mostly, I'm not even like I'm the Lakers like my side team. Like I'm a Rockets guy, but they're making me sad, so I need to separate from them for a minute. But the Lakers are definitely my second team to go to because LeBron's the guy. But I'm just sick of the Clippers and their fans and their team, and that actually translates to my dislike for their shoes more.
For me, this is probably like I would say it's probably a B as well. Just I like the shoe, I like the silhouette, I like the shroud, but overall the colorway has been disappointing. Gatorade just doesn't make sense on it. It just seems like I'm just super tired of making a sneaker a collab with somebody that has nothing to do with sneakers. The default like go to, right? Nothing against like these kind of creatives like Shoe Surgeon or Cousteau or Foamer that are getting to do, Seth Fowler, the guys that are getting to do these like unboxings with the Twix Jordan 1s. I think it's super dope, but it's just like, I don't need to see like these two big companies collaborating. It doesn't make sense to me. So that definitely leaves a bad taste in my mouth for the PG.
It's funny. It's like when you go on Snapchat and there's like CNN on Snapchat. It's like, what the fuck? You like what? No. So yeah. Let's switch gears here into the Chris Paul line, get into some Jordan stuff. We're on what, the CP12 now?
Yeah. Sounds right. Yeah.
I mean, not my kind of shoe. The Chris Paul line historically has been I've been a big fan of them, but for me recently, just not my jam. But nothing wrong with it, just not for me. How about
aesthetically, I think I don't like them. There were a couple. We talked about it offline, but there is, I can't remember what number it was. I think it might have been like 7 when they had the Jekyll and Hyde pack, where it was almost like a patent leather sneaker, and I like that one. They actually back then, and some of the CPs had some pretty decent aesthetics. But with that being said, I think they've always been great hooping shoes. Like if you don't care about what the shoe looks like and what it performs, and only what it performs like, that's the sneaker for you, because the CPs actually are really solid on-court sneakers.
Yeah, I don't like it, the CP312 at all, really. It's just not, the style is just whack. I think that the CP3 line is really dope. There's been a lot of good stuff over the years, but I think the last like 2 or 3 years, like, have just been like total misses. Last year it looked like a copy of an old Under Armour shoe, the Micro G Black Ice or Bloodline. I can't remember. I think both those shoes had very similar vibes, but this one, the 12, just looks completely out of place. But I agree with Mike. If you just want something to perform, when these go on sale and you can pick them up for, $50-$60, this is a hell of a shoe.
So shout out Jamal Lucas. He works at Jordan Brand, is like the biggest Chris Paul like shoe fan, and he'd hate that I just said I don't like that shoe that much. But good performer. But I'm not a performance guy. I'm slow as hell. I don't have any. There's no skills to elevate by a shoe, so it has to be about looks. So with that said, a really good looking Jordan Brand shoe, the Why Not 0.3. I would say from a purely looks perspective, one of my favorite basketball shoes to drop this year. I'm sure the Zoom Air feels great. I'm sure it's really good on court, but I just love everything they do with these new Russ Westbrooks. That's a tongue tie. But yeah, I'm feeling them.
Yeah. I had little hope for this line after the Why Not 1.0s or 0.1s, whatever. I thought they were awful, but ever since the 0.2s and now the 0.3s, I think they're a great looking shoe. I like the fact that they're super wild. I love the P's that he has. They're like the Nintendo Game Boy, the Super Soaker, all that cool stuff. I mean, and it matches him. Like, it's a really aggressive looking shoe that matches his style of play, and I really like the sneaker.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't really have anything else to add, to be honest. Like,
they're crazy. So, New Balance Omnis One. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong, but it's the Omnis One, right?
I think it's Omnis. I keep hearing people say Omni, but I'm like, well, there's an S at the end.
Because they're illiterate and they can't read. I'm scared. But I mean, that one, we talked about the Sunset Pack last episode. Just not enough going on. There was no, that is the Sunset, the pink and orange one. That is the Sunset one. That's the only memorable pair. I think there was a red and blue, like Clippers colored one, and like a Wakanda feeling one. Had nothing to do with Wakanda, but it just reminded me of the necklace. But forgettable, man. I wish we just had more experiences either personally between the three of us or if we heard more about it, in circles. So it's hard to really gauge that one other than Kawhi's having a great season.
Yeah, so I have no – oh, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, should we touch on the new signature shoe? Like that's actually, I mean, I know it's not out yet, but I don't know. It at least looks better to me than the Omnis was great for a start, but I think New Balance is kind of, for lack of a better term, like kind of getting screwed over by the hype cycle because they're not cranking out enough. They're not cranking out colorways and releases the way all the other brands are that are that are kind of riding the waves. And that's ultimately hurting them, I think, because there is only a handful of colorways. There's nothing that stands out. Like to me, there was like a pink pair of the Omnis a while back. And then like that, like the first early colorways, Clippers colorways or whatever, I thought were pretty good. I didn't pull the trigger on any of them, but I don't know. Overall it's been kind of lackluster. And I think there's a lot of excitement around Kawhi and what he's doing. And it's unfortunate that they're not kind of keeping up with the hype cycle in a sense.
Yeah. I have a tough time talking about this one because, I haven't had experience at all. I think I mentioned this before. I've never seen the shoe in person. I just want to hunt it down. I don't know if I've heard great things about the Omnis, and clearly Kawhi's doing what Kawhi does in it, but I've never seen it. I want to just go on a mission and hunt one down just to try it on. And I mean, I don't know if I want to buy it, but I do at least want to be like, hey, I held it. I can tell these things from it, but I have no real experience with it. I actually don't like his actual signature as much as the Omnis. So I mean, you're kind of backwards on that one, Nick. I think his signature just looks too much like the Dame too. I'm just not getting anything creative from it, and I get more creative like vibes from the Omnis because it was something original. And yeah, I don't have an opinion on it.
That's fair. I can understand that. I've seen it in multiple shoe palaces. I don't know if you've got a shoe palace near you, Mike, but
I do. They don't have nothing in there.
Yeah, maybe it's just that I'm in LA that, it's kind of like the thing to do is have Kawhis, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Just kind of regional.
Yeah.
Up next, Curry 7. We just saw it. I think he played in it in October before he got hurt. But saw him make his debut in the Sour Patch Kids. One green, one orange. And I like the Curry 7. I think the 7 and the 5 are like the two best looking Curry shoes. And just, again, injury kind of derailed the hype cycle. But once he starts playing in it, things are going to pick up. It's just a really good design. It looks like a Steph Curry shoe, as it should. But it's just a really solid offering. I didn't New Balance. Damn.
No, actually, the Curry 7 is really nice looking. I was trying to get one of the Sour Patch models. They're actually pretty pricey. on the resale market. I was really surprised by that. But also like that when it just came out that the International Women's Day colored it all lavender color is really dope looking. I like the new direction that the Currys are going now. They look like they're taking some more considerations, some more time, and not just, pumping out an Under Armour shoe. They're actually really trying to do something, different and something, design friendly with these. So I really like them. When they go on sale, I might buy a pair.
Yeah, I like them. I don't know. I haven't really picked up any of the more recent Currys. I'm not really a fan of like the Under Armour kind of design language that's going on right now. It just seems a little out of place, but I obviously like Sour Patch Kids, and I probably would grab those if my size were available and they were on sale, but I'm not really like hunting these down by any means.
Neither am I, but I got to recognize that they do look good. Now we have another good-looking shoe. We're going to switch up to their last brand for the most part. Adidas Dame 6, correct? The Dame 6 didn't do as hot. I remember seeing the Pusha T collab still being available in some places, and normally that would have just popped off. Yeah, it's the best-looking Dame since like the second one. I haven't really been a huge fan of them. I like them. They're not going to be a shoe I like to particularly wear, but from a design standpoint, they're different. They're a little off keel in a good way. It's kind of the way Dame is, not your typical all-star. It's a little different. So it's good.
Yeah. There hasn't really been a Dame sneaker that really like spoke to me like, hey, I want to try this. I remember always seeing the first couple of models pop up in like, Marshalls, discount stores like that. And nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've bought plenty of shoes out of those places. I just, when I actually got to put my hands on them, I never really had to feel like, oh, I'm going to buy this even on sale. Just the designs have never been, appealing to me. Now, with that being said, I think the Dame 7 has taken a great leap forward. Dame is one of the guys who typically puts out a shoe that everyone can afford. So they have limitation on what they can put out and what they can do to the shoe, how many risks they can take. But I think they did a great job designing the 7. I really like the collaboration with, he did with Pusha T. Just kind of puts his music side and his basketball side in one shoe, which is really cool. This is one I would definitely try. If I found a colorway I liked for a good price, I would definitely consider getting a pair of these myself.
I like most of the Dame line. I think the Ruthless colorway is pretty dope, just kind of split. Like the black on the outside and then the bright colors and the graphics on the inside. So that's the one that I'm kind of looking for. But I don't know. I would say this is probably a solid B+ to me.
Genius. That's a good rating. I like that. I do like the Dame 6, but the even better option is the Donovan Mitchell Dawn Volume 1, which is again a little long in the tooth. But it took a while for it to release in the same breath. It really didn't come out very quickly once we initially saw photos of it. But the Spider-Man colorways, all super dope. I believe there's a Star Wars one too. But the Iron Spider and like the Venom, there's like a electronic green and black that looked really cool. But very cool, very new, right? He's a young player. A lot of chances, I think, were taken from a design aspect, and just all around a very solid shoe. Yeah.
Just like you, I think the Venom color was my favorite, but that was the one I couldn't find anywhere. Because that was the one I wanted to buy. If I was going to purchase it, that was the color I was going to get. But that one was the toughest of the pack to track down. Only issue with the shoe is that it's a great design and looks good. He's doing great things on the court with it. He's a fantastic player. He's going to be one of the faces of the NBA. Once the the old regime kind of starts trickling out. But the materials used in the shoe actually was able to pick it up in hand. I think you guys have as well. It just doesn't seem to be super well made. Like I say, it looks good, but when I picked it up, the sizing looked weird because of looked like an extra wide toe box, and it just looked like it stretches out after a while. And I didn't like the material choices. I'm really looking forward to see what they do next, but I'll give him, I guess, a B-, C+ for a first attempt.
This one's a little bit higher for me. I picked up the Spider-Man colorway. I just think that the storyline and that, making it like comics, the issue 1 is super dope. I thought the shoe was super comfortable. The materials maybe leave a little to be desired, but I want to get the Venom colorway. I'm just a big fan of this shoe, so it's probably an easy A for me.
I like that movie. It's a good one, but it looks just different, right? It's kind of crazy. It keeps saying it over and over again, but just when you look at it in the Dame 6 too, Adidas does just offer something a little bit out there that still works really well. And I guess we'll leave. Do we want to bring Derrick Rose up? The D Rose at 13 now. We're on.
Not. It's 10.
It's a 10, but 10. Yeah. It's a C for me. We can move on.
Yeah, no, but it's sold out apparently. I don't like the 10, but apparently when it first released, it was just about impossible to get a pair. It was done so quietly, and people were just, once they found it on bottom, they were just eating them up. I mean, I think that's not the case now because they've made enough colors to where they're available, but in the beginning, people are all about it, man.
It's supposed to be comfortable, but definitely not a looker.
No, it's ugly.
So the last joint we have here, James Harden Volume 4, which they've gone steadily worse. I think the Harden Volume 1 is one of the best looking basketball shoes in the past 5 years. That was a really, really good looking shoe. And it's kind of gone more and further away from like lifestyle, right? I feel like James Harden is so fashionable, or at least he thinks he's so fashionable, that like those early shoes played into that with materials and colorways. But now it's kind of just like, I don't know what it is. It's a signature shoe. It's a performance shoe, but it's like not really cool for basketball or cool for the street. So it's like in an awkward middle place. I'm just not a huge fan of it.
Yeah. I like the Harden one was the LS was the one. It was all prime knit. That was my favorite of the groups. I had the volume 3s and took them back immediately because they were going to rip my Achilles out my ankle. I mean, if his shoes are representing his play right now, they're mediocre. And I'm just an angry fan right now.
The 1 and 1.5 were like by far the cleanest of the shoes, but I think Robbie nailed it. It's almost like they're struggling to have like a balance between lifestyle and performance, and it's almost like they just haven't hit either now because of it. So, I mean, I would say that the 4 probably is maybe a C for me. It's probably bottom of the list of all of these for me.
Right down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. I mean, I'm sure, James Harden's one of the best players in the league. He'll bounce back with something cooler for the 5. But everybody gets a lull when it comes to signature shoes at some point.
Yeah. I think we've gone through pretty good. just like off the cuff, what's your favorite shoe this year?
Favorite shoe? Oh, that's tough. Does it have to be a new one, or we're just talking about just favorite in general that they're wearing?
No,
Just favorite of what we've talked about tonight.
Shoot. I would have to say overall that my favorite would have to be I guess it'd have to be of all the groups, the LeBron, the 17. Out of everything, I think it's the most unique one. Has the best colorways. Even though it's not something I think I can wear on a daily basis, I think it does the best job of taking all elements that we always talk about and making something out of them.
Man, I am really leaning towards the Dawn issue 1. But if I didn't choose that one, it'd probably have to be the Kyrie 6. Even though I don't own a pair, they do look really cool. Like I've enjoyed looking at every pair. I just haven't quite pulled that trigger yet. No, I'm tripping. I totally forgot. The Russ. Scratch everything I just said. The Westbrook 0, why not 0.3 is my favorite. I got that back.
Cool.
That's probably up there for me. I think the Dawn issue 1 is probably up there. Kyrie 6, I think those would be the 3. I don't know if I could choose one, but I haven't got what pair of the Westbrooks yet, so that will probably be the determining factor once I get a pair. But
let us know which one you guys like the most. I mean, we sat here, gave you our thoughts. What do you like? And give us a reason why, man. Drop a comment here. Follow us on Twitter. We're going to answer back.
That maybe I won't, because I'm still bad at Twitter. I got to remember to use it.
I mean, I can't imagine not having Twitter for like any time I'm watching sports. That's the ultimate for me with Twitter. But anyway, you can actually follow me on Twitter at Nick Engvall. I'm still posting all my shoes over there every day. Yeah, but more importantly, just follow at Sneaker History. Guys, let them know how they can find you and follow along.
Yeah, Mike Guillory. You can find me on course on Sneaker History as well. Instagram and Twitter at MadWatcher789, and then on YouTube at Mike Guillory. Robbie, where you at?
You can find me at RAHBEE702 on all the platforms.
Right on. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
See you.
Bye.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, I wanted to ask a couple favors of you. If you're interested in more content from the Sneaker History crew, become a member of our Patreon page where we post daily content, drop exclusive episodes, and host monthly giveaways. We'll even help you hunt for your grails. Check us out at patreon.com/sneakerhistory. Also, make sure you sign up for our email newsletter at sneakerhistory.com/email. We send out weekly updates on the footwear business and what we're working on here at Sneaker History. Last but not least, take a second to tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how much it means to someone, and it might even plant the seeds for something even bigger. As always, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace. Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.